acknowledging that we all have different bodies, different anthropology or whatever it's called. What is it?
Is it anthropomorphic?
Anthropomology. I'm gonna.
Anthropomology.
I know that's not correct, but that's the one I like.
I have one drill that stands out to me as being the most effective. So if I have a beginner, we're going to take a light bar. We're going to walk up to a wall. We're going to do a high hang muscle snatch.
Okay.
So we're going to do a lot of them. Facing the wall, like toes literally against the wall. So the position here, and I'm going to describe it, and it kind of sucks because we're a podcast. But you face the wall, your toes are touching. When you dip down, this needs to be a vertical dip.
Yep.
So your torso is completely parallel. Your face shouldn't move any closer to the wall. Mm-hmm. Now your knees, they can go forward and touch the wall. I wouldn't touch the wall because walls are hard, or your wall is soft and then you put a hole in it. So toes, knees against the wall. You're leaning back against or away. Now, when you stand up, you shrug, right? That's a good snatch drill. You can just stop there. Or you can stand, shrug, and high pull. Now, being close to the wall makes you finish fully. And to me, a full finish isn't vertical. There's some hyperextension. So you lean back away from the wall so that bar can actually go vertical. Right. If you don't lean back, you hit yourself in the chest.
Yeah.
So at our Ollie cert, I remember that they didn't teach it this way. They taught us very vertical chest, even when the bar was at the knees, and then really vertical chest at the top of the jump. But I think for full extension, you actually have to go back. So then you get into the habit of leaning backwards as you pull that bar up over your head and then returning to a center position.
Yeah. No, for sure. I agree 100%. I think with coaching a lot of times anyways, it's like the cues aren't necessarily accurate to what has to actually happen, you know?
Yeah.
It's sometimes just trying to make you think a certain way.
Mm-hmm. And you over exaggerate positions so that when I give you a coaching cue, you're not going to go as far as I want you to go because that's normal. You know, I say lean back, you're going to lean back a little, or you think you're leaning back a lot and you're not. So overcorrecting and then you bring it back into center is going to make the biggest change slowly over time.
Yeah. And if you get those reps in, again, that's the key. So you get those reps in and then you can start adding weight as you progress, as you get more skillful at the movement.
So I'll actually put a video of that drill together and we can put it in the show notes because I've been meaning to put it together because it's one of my favorites of all time. So hold me to it. I'm going to put the video in the show notes. You can click on it, take you to YouTube, and you'll see my favorite beginner. And I'm going to teach it as a snatch because if you learn how to do a snatch, same principles apply for the clean.
Right. Okay. I like it. I think that kind of opens the door a little bit to what we're the intermediate phase now. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to go into what I think is a really awesome way to think about improving your Olympic lifting from a coaching perspective, but it could be you're just coaching yourself, you know, so maybe you don't have a coach, but you just need some ideas. So ever heard of juggernaut strength training?
Of course.
Or juggernaut training systems or whatever, Chad, whatever his name is.
I think that's his last name, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Him and Max Aida, I believe, is the Olympic lifting guy. Chad is the powerlifting guy. Max is the Olympic lifting guy. And a couple years ago, they came out with this idea called the Olympic weightlifting Triad. Are you familiar with it at all?
No.
Okay. So they basically break down Olympic lifting into these three qualities, I guess you would say. And it gives you a framework as to how to program to improve your lifting. So
how to write a program, or
basically it gives you maybe it's not as in-depth as that, but it gives you a framework as to how to pick exercises to improve your lifting. So basically what it is, instead of trying to cue for specific movement patterns, like saying that, okay, knees have to go back, which might be true, but sometimes they go out. Sometimes certain people send them further back than other people, instead of saying chest up or hips, whatever. Instead of worrying about all of that, acknowledging that we all have different bodies, different anthropology or whatever it's called. What is it?
Is it anthropomorphic?
Anthropomology.
Anthropomology.
I know that's not correct, but that's the one I like. So I'm going with that.
I'm putting it in Urban Dictionary.
But anyways, we're all different. So instead of worrying about that, we're going to look at the qualities of the movement. And they have 3 qualities of the movement. So first one is going to be the bar path. The bar has to go in a straight line for it to be the most efficient, or very, very close to a straight line, right? Mm-hmm. If there's a significant deviation going backwards or forwards, you're making it way harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, and you can buy clips that will track this for you, and you can put it on your bar. You can just take a video with like Coach's Eye, or there are like a million free apps, and then you can track it, and that's going to help you a ton.
Yep. So instead of worrying about how far back your knees are going or where the weight is on your foot, which is very important still, or like whether your chest is up, just look at the bar path. Is it a straight vertical bar path? Like that's number one. Then the next one is going to be the height of the bar. So like how high you can get the bar to go, so the higher you can get the bar to go, the more you're going to be able to lift because it takes more time to get under it. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, that third piece is what I just said, time to fixation, time to get under the bar till you get to that fixed position where you catch.
Right.
So the faster you are getting down there, then the more weight you're going to be able to lift.
Yeah.
So those 3 qualities, the path of the bar, the height of the bar, and your speed under the bar. Mm-hmm. So basically they say, okay, go ahead and analyze your movement or your client's movement or whatever, and try and figure out what's going on there. Like, do they have a bad bar path? Are they just not pulling the bar high enough? Or are they very slow getting under it? Once you can identify what the biggest problem is, then they give you a list of exercises that are designed to improve those problems.
Nice.
Rather than just cueing to say, hey, be faster, or hey, pull higher, or hey, get your knees back, or whatever.
I like that cue. Be faster.
Not that those things are never appropriate. Sometimes you're just being lazy. Sometimes you got lazy on the pull. Sometimes you got lazy getting under it. Sometimes you did come on your toes too soon and leaned forward or whatever. So not that those things never are true, but instead of just cueing somebody over and over and over, here are exercises designed that will force you to have a straight bar path. Here are exercises designed that will force you to pull the bar super high or get under it super fast. Mm-hmm. So that's what they do. And
that's cool.
I love it.
Do you know how many exercises they have in each category? And can we find this online for free, or is it like a book?
But all of it. So it is a book. I used to have it, but it was a very short book. It was like maybe 50 pages.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it was literally just like the concept kind of explained and then a list of exercises. So it was a very short book. I'm pretty sure you can go buy it from Juggernaut Training Systems, the Olympic Lifting Triad. You can also find their YouTube series about it, which is probably better, probably way better. So just Google that or YouTube that. And I believe I want to say they have at least 5 to 10 exercises in each category, somewhere in that range. So it's a decent amount to pick from.
It sounds like it was inspired by the conjugate system, right? So you do your max effort, and then you have your special exercises. You have your max effort, your dynamic effort, and then the special exercises are basically like, oh, you have bad biceps, so do a bunch of curls, or you have slow push, so now you're doing extra speed reps.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're just complimenting it. And it's nice that they put it into a book, because you as a coach, don't reinvent the wheel, just steal everybody's ideas.
100%. So I can think of an example of one exercise from each category. So if your bar path is off, one of the things they'll have you do is do what they call a no feet snatch. So what that would mean is that you don't move your feet. You're not allowed to move your feet. So they don't come off the ground. So if you have a problem sending the bar forward, what your correction naturally is you jump forward to catch it.
Sure.
But if you have a no foot snatch, you
You
can't do
can't.
that.
Oh, that's good. That's
Exactly.
so good.
Yeah, so that's one. So you can't move your feet, like that would correct for bar path. Uh, Height of the pool would just be things such as like focusing on high pulls, like doing a snatch high pull.
Yep.
Um, and then time under bar could be something like those drop snatches or just those high hang snatches where
Hmm.
it forces you to be super quick.
Yeah, I like box snatches off blocks for that one.
Yeah, something like that too. Exactly. So that's just an example from each category, but they have more examples of all for each one of those. So I highly recommend that. I think that is like, it's just a better framework. It's changed the way I think about lifting rather than just thinking like I can focus on where my knees are or where my chest is or where my foot pressure is. Those
Hmm.
things all matter, but
Right.
instead of doing that, force myself to have no other choice. Like you basically design the exercise so that way your body is forced to solve the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, the things that you just said, all well except for dropping under the bar, right, fit into that beginner snatch, that high hang wall facing snatch, because you can't
Yeah.
let the bar travel forward. You got to pull up nice and high. The only thing it's missing is the drop under. And for a beginner, please don't focus on that. Just focus on the positions.
Well, if you do it facing the wall, you'll probably end up hitting the wall pretty hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That won't work. So don't do that.
But yeah, I just like that framework. It changes the way I
Yeah.
think about it.
So I'm definitely going to pull all that information because I think if you are a newer coach and you need a schema, like this is just a cheat code, right?
Yep, exactly.